Hi, it's Stuart, and today I am back with another skate shoe review. You might notice that my surroundings are a bit different, and that is because I've recently moved house. I've moved from Glasgow to Dublin, and this is the new setup. But today we're going to be reviewing the Airwalk Neptune Skate Shoes. So these are the Airwalk Neptunes. I recently picked them up yesterday after flying into Dublin because I needed a new pair of skate shoes, and the Airwalk Brocks, my last skate shoe, I left them in Glasgow because the sole here, there was a hole pretty much in the sole. So they lasted around 2 months. So I wanted to pick up another Airwalk skate shoe, so I decided to go with the Airwalk Neptunes. Now, my initial impression is that it is a great looking skate shoe. I don't usually go for grey, but I wanted to change it up this time and go for something that's not black. And so this kind of grey and black aesthetic with the kind of white highlights here and here on the logo, I thought it looked pretty neat. So like look wise for style, I think they look awesome. And as you can see, they've got like the kind of the white and black aesthetic there with the grey. So I really like that, and I think it's something new for me, and I think it looks kind of cool. So with the Airwalk Brock skate shoes, the laces were pretty decent quality, and so far these laces seem pretty good. I've yet to wear these out and about, but I wanted to get them out of the box and film this review before I wore them, so that you guys could get a kind of glimpse of what they're like straight out of the box. So far the laces seem pretty good quality. The laces on the Airwalk Brocks were awesome. They didn't break, and I do a lot of Caspers and stuff on skateboards, so this kind of area of the shoe takes a lot of punishment, and the laces were fine on the Airwalk Brocks. So I'm assuming that these laces are going to be of the same material and same quality. The initial difference that I could see between the Neptunes and the Brocks was the material here. So the whole front of this shoe is a kind of suede composite, and right here where you flick for ollies or heel flips or whatever you do, there's a nice, like, it's kind of reinforced with the stitching here, but this is a kind of suede material. It's similar to this, it's just tougher. So I think that this is I think this is suede reinforced with some kind of composite material, but it's not plastic. It's good quality material there for doing your flick tricks. You've got the same kind of material here that stretches across the heel to give you heel support, which is awesome if you do unusual freestyle tricks that use this section of the foot. So if you're into freestyle, that is something worth noting, that you've got this kind of band here that will help you do flip tricks using the heel there. These are completely new. They're not in the Airwalk Brock model. This is they're kind of like air holes, so they're completely they're not like all the way through, so you can see my finger there, but if I put it on the inside, you'll see that there's a little flap there that shields, any dirt or grit or water from getting on the inside. It's like a kind of absorbent flap on the inside. So if I put my finger down the inside, you can see that it is all the way through. But that's really good for ventilation, I'm assuming. I don't know how it will work in practice, so again, I plan on doing a 1 month update with these shoes like I did with the Airwalk Brocks. But that's one feature that the Airwalk Brocks don't have. I also want to briefly talk about this material here. So this is like a kind of plasticky material. It's not suede, it's more kind of like a synthetic plastic. So do note that while you've got suede here and along the kind of toe line here, this material right here is different. It's more of a kind of synthetic plastic, but it's still good quality material. It's not like cheaply made or whatever. And that's the same material that's used for the tongue here, is that this material here, the tongue is not suede at all. So if you do Caspers or tricks that use the top side here, that might be something worth considering, but all this here is suede. And now we move on to like the characteristic kind of trademark of the Airwalks, which is the padding on the tongue and around your ankles there. The padding is phenomenal. Like, I slid my foot into this shoe just to kind of give it a feel so I could review it, and took a walk up and down the hallway here, and the padding is really well suited on this shoe, just like it was with the Brock model. And the insole is a bit thicker and a bit tougher on this one. So the Brocks had more of a kind of memory foam kind of feel, whereas this one it's a lot tougher. So I'm assuming that the board feel is going to be better on this model versus the Brocks, but I'll only know that when I actually get out to skate it. I also tend to take a look at the seam work on new shoes and see how well it's holding out. Like the seam work here seems to be a bit on the kind of flimsy side, so I might shoe glue this just to make sure that it doesn't, rip prematurely. And I'm also going to shoe glue around the edge here of the shoe just to make sure that it stays in place. But the seam work so far, like just out of the box stock wise, is fairly good. And finally, I want to talk about the sole a little bit. So this is a different material than the Airwalk Brocks. The Airwalk Brocks has a slightly thicker sole here, and it wasn't as hard. So these ones tend to be a lot harder, both for the insole and for the actual material on the bottom of the shoe. And so we're back after a day of doing errands, and these shoes are very comfortable to wear in everyday life. And so the first thing I noticed was that the soles are definitely thinner than that of the Airwalk Brocks, which means they'll probably help with board feel once we actually get to skating them. So when I was like walking about, when I was stepping on gravel or stones, I could feel them through the sole of the shoe, more so than the Airwalk Brocks. So I think my initial assessment of this helping with board feel is correct, but I won't know until I get my board set up. So the next stage from here is to get my board and then to skate them for a session and see how they fare on like normal flip tricks and freestyle tricks. So I finally managed to get out and get these skated the other day because my new setup finally came. Well, I was waiting on some parts of the new board, but that's besides the point. I managed to skate these, and my initial assumptions were like correct, and the board feel was slightly lesser on these ones compared to the Airwalk Brocks, but more than obviously say a Vans would be. But they were very, very comfortable. So that was one thing I did notice, was that when I was skating these, it didn't really feel like I was skating, and that sometimes your feet will get sore, especially like the toes around here or the balls of your foot around here. But that wasn't really an issue with these shoes, and I skated for quite a while. I was skating for a few hours, and I didn't really feel it. Whether that's because they're brand new, and because I haven't really skated them to the point that it started wearing down too much, I don't know. But so far they passed the first test. So last thing I want to cover about these skate shoes before I go out and skate them for a month or two and then review them again, is that these two air holes that are present on the Neptune models that are not present on the Brock models, they help a lot with just ventilation. You can actually feel the air coming in against your foot there when you're skating along the road really fast. So these air holes were genuinely effective. I didn't really expect them to be as effective as they were at their function, which is to air out your feet and keep them cool and stop you getting overhit or feeling all sweaty and yucky like a lot of skate shoes do. These actually help combat that. And I mean, I was skating for about 3 or 4 hours yesterday, and I didn't really feel that same kind of like welling of like heat in my feet that I usually get when I skate, because it's physical activity, right? So like, yeah, they actually worked. It's not just for looks, because that was my main concern, was that these little holes on the side of the shoe there was just an aesthetic thing. That, yeah, okay, it was going to let air in, but really how effective were they going to be? And it turns out that they were. So this is after one skate session, so you can't really see much scuffing. You can see a little bit here on the nose and a little bit around the sides, but realistically, it looks like these are going to last quite a while in terms of their durability long term. But obviously, we won't know that until we've skated them for a month or two, and I revisit them and see how well they fare. So that was my review of the Airwalk Neptunes. Like I did with the Airwalk Brocks, I will, do a 1 month review after skating them, 2 or 3 times a week, and then we'll see how they fare durability wise after a month of of, you know, getting them out there and trying all the tricks that I used to do. Bear in mind that I did just get a new board and I've sized up from a 7.4 to a 8.125, so it'll take a little bit for me to get back into the swing of things and truly put those shoes through their paces. But I will post a 1 month update, if not a 1 month update, then a 2 month update. But yeah, if you enjoyed this content, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're new, all that good stuff, as I try to bring out new skating content every week, or at least every 10 days. That's the kind of schedule I've got going on right now. But after this shoe review, I'm going to do a setup review, because I got a new board, and it's fucking awesome. Peace out, folks, and skate well.